Hey guys, it's Simeon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means we're talking about Monday Night Raw, and I'm not going to say the show sucked. I'm going to say that I was bored through a lot of it. So, to some people, that may mean sucked. But I'm just going to say it was an all right show. But I was very bored throughout the majority of tonight's Raw, and that's not good. That's really not good. Because if they put a show like this on, in 2 weeks when they're in front of a crowd, just think what that crowd is going to do. If they go to Dallas in 2 weeks, if they go to Houston a week from Friday for SmackDown, and it's a boring show like this, and the crowd is dead and not into it, oh Lord, just think how that's going to be, how that is going to be perceived. Now, I doubt it. The first couple of shows for sure. And I mean, probably even, I can't say that. I would say the first show in each big city, but I can't even say that. Like, the first couple of shows for sure, probably going to be good crowds regardless of how the show is. Especially early on in the shows. They'll just cheer to cheer just because they're there. But if we get a boring show like this, I just dread. Like, I doubt Money in the Bank will be boring because Money in the Bank get 2 ladder matches. We got Kofi, Big E, and our Kofi, Bobby, Roman Edge. Trying to think what else is that? Charlotte. And after tonight, and I'm going to talk about this a little more later, who the fuck cares about Charlotte Rhea? Not only is it like the 3rd time they've fought for the title, but who cares after the just dirt worst segment they put on tonight? And I want to say thank you to Greg Bryson for the super sticker donation on YouTube. Really do appreciate that, my guy. I just there's not much to say about tonight's Raw other than I was bored through a lot of it. Now I want to know what you guys think of tonight's Raw as I get the polls going. Also, remember, if you want to be part of tonight's show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. What did you think of tonight's Raw? Question mark. Liked it. Was all right. I didn't like it. If I was voting, I'd give it a all right, and that's being generous, to be honest. Liked it. It was all right. Because I couldn't say it was bad. You know what I mean? There are some things I liked on the show. I didn't like it. All right. The poll is live on both shows. Johnny says, bro, was boring tonight. Yes, I said it was boring. I said I was bored through a lot of the show. Doesn't mean there can't be stuff I still like. Let me rephrase that. Just because I was bored with a lot of the show doesn't mean there weren't things I liked. And yes, M. Rivers says the I Quit match. I forgot about the I Quit match of Money in the Bank as well. The BFG says, social media is blowing about Keith Lee. What happened? I don't know. Let's go check together before we talk about Raw. Let's see. Keith Lee. Did something happen with Keith Lee? We're about to find out together, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go on Twitter. Let's type in Keith Lee. See latest. Oh, I think I know why people are tweeting Keith Lee. I think I might know, and it's literally nothing. If this is what I think it is, it's literally nothing. And also, guy, I wouldn't say social media is blowing up. There's maybe been on Twitter, in the last hour, actually, Let's see. Hold on. Yeah. In the last hour, there's been like 5 tweets about Keith Lee, if that. If that. So I don't know what do you justify blowing up on Twitter? Because Keith Lee ain't. You type in his name on Twitter, and literally, there's one guy with a Keith Lee appreciation tweet. Another guy just someone else said, I'm trying to link with some WWE and AEW wrestlers. Who are your favorites? Keith Lee was recommended as a favorite wrestler. This person says, I was low-key hoping we get a new Hurt Business with Keith Lee. And somebody else says, where's Keith Lee? That's not blowing up on Twitter in the least bit. You got us all hyped up for nothing, bro. 100% nothing. Keith Lee blowing up on Twitter. God dang it. God lay. It's not blowing up on Twitter. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok? No. This is how much I don't want to talk about Raw. Keith Lee. We're typing Keith Lee on Instagram. Not working on my computer. Let's type in Keith Lee on Instagram and see if people are talking about hashtag Keith Lee. Bro, people ain't tweeted about Keith Lee in a minute on Instagram. TikTok. Nothing. Yeah. Bro, come in here with that shit again and you're going to get banned. I'm just going to say it right now. Over here, he's blowing up on social media. Maybe not Twitter, but Instagram. No. Don't come in here with that fake ass shit. Do it again, and you'll be banned. I'm over it. I'm over people coming in here. Hey, did you hear this news? And it's like, did you see that? And it's fucking nothing. Anyways, Chase, we will talk about that. Chase. But with that, we've got Monday Night Raw to talk about. If you are watching here on Twitter, or Twitch, sorry, got me all jumbled up. If you're watching here on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways, either by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also remember, if you are watching on Twitch, you can subscribe to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can subscribe either with a tiered subscription, just like Broken King Slender did recently, or you could subscribe for no extra cost to you, almost free. Amazon Prime and Prime Gaming, because if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. All you got to do is link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, and if you're already paying Jeff Bezos for either Prime shipping or Prime Video, then he says, here you go, buddy, $5. $5 to subscribe to any Twitch channel you want, coming out of my pocket, not yours. So, right here, PWU Unlimited, support us with that free subscription. Also, on the flip side, if you're watching on YouTube, you can help us out in the live chat, just like Greg Bryson did with a super sticker donation or a super chat donation. All super chats do get read live on the air. With that, you can also subscribe to the channel as a channel member. As a channel member, you get early access to news. Early access, which I got some exclusive news dropping in the morning. So you might want to be a member or a Patreon subscriber. Early access to exclusive news, early access to podcast episodes, early access to non-news videos, and so much more. And like I said, get all that as well over directly, patreon.com/PW Unlimited. Johnny says, all you guys are a bunch of trolls. Why don't you get your facts right? Or you start tweeting and doing all your shit that you do on social media. You talking about me? Talking about me? What about me? My facts right. Jeez, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, boy. Timmy Hayes says, yes. He says, is Keith Lee on Twitter? Yes, Keith Lee has a Twitter. The last time he tweeted was... Real Keith Lee has not tweeted since June 4th. His last tweet stated, and I quote, no, he actually tweeted July 2nd. His pinned tweet was June 4th. His last tweet was from July 2nd. It was a picture of him in a ring. And not sure exactly where the picture's from, but it says, I think this was the end of one of my final matches over in Europe. Before joining WWE, I didn't really know what to expect back then. As I reflect on this moment, I realize it's all still the same, a fight. Hashtag grind well, hashtag Legion, hashtag bask in my glory, hashtag I am limitless. So yeah, he's still on Twitter. He's still active on Twitter as of, Friday was the last time he tweeted. So he's still active. Also, thank you, Victor, for the super chat donation. He says Jeff Bezos resigned. I don't know who the new CEO is. Well, Jeff Bezos said a while ago that he's going to step down as the head of Amazon. Basically, the man's going to retire and still continue to make money off of this company. That's basically all it really is. He said it like in 2020 that he's going to retire soon. At least from Amazon stuff. He's still got his space program and some other little things he does, but it's not a shock. Not a shock at all that he's stepping down as CEO of Amazon because, again, he said he was going to. But with that, we got Monday Night Raw to talk about. As Monday Night Raw kicked off with Miz TV. Miz was out there with John Morrison, and they called out all the men that will represent Raw for Money in the Bank. McIntyre came out. Well, first off, Miz called out who he said will be the next Mr. Money in the Bank. John Morrison. Morrison called himself America's Most Wanted and said that he was best equipped to win the ladder match. Miz introduced his other guests. Next out was former WWE champion Drew McIntyre. Since Saturday, yes, I have heard that. And it's exactly who I predicted, like, when they started it. I just haven't had a chance to report on it because, well, Raw ended right when that report came out and had to go live. But with that, McIntyre came out and reminded Miz that Lashley was the reason he won the title, and McIntyre's been fighting ever since to win the title back. Money in the Bank is taking place in Texas. McIntyre told us a story about the Alamo, and fucking stop! Stop with all this McIntyre giving us history lessons stuff. It's not working. It's dumb. Stupid. I don't want to hear McIntyre tell us one more time about some Scottish war hero or ducking fucking Davy Crockett. Like, damn. We're going to go to Philadelphia and he's going to tell us why there's a crack in the Liberty Bell? Like, geez. I'm over this. This stuff got old like the second week he did it. Like, God. I'm going to come to California and going to talk about the gold miners and the gold rush of 1949. Shit, I grew up where the gold rush was. I've heard those stories a million times. Anyways, McIntyre said that he would shove Morrison's head up Miz's ass. And just like Davy Crockett, he would rather die in Texas than give up the briefcase. Ricochet would enter next. Miz said that Ricochet risks his and Morrison's career last week with that diving crossbody spot. Ricochet said that he's willing to do whatever it takes to win the briefcase. As Morrison spoke, Riddle would come out and interrupt. Riddle climbed to the top of the ladder, and Miz is like, what the hell are you doing sitting up there? And Riddle's like, I haven't been this high in a long time. Riddle commented, like I said, I'm being high. He began to ramble until Miz stopped him. Miz just basically told him to shut up. Miz wondered why Randy Orton hasn't kicked him in the skull yet. And then this is supposed to be Money in the Bank qualifiers, and out comes fucking AJ and Omos. Styles said that Orton dropped out. There should have only been a singles match last week. They didn't need a third person, especially not Riddle. Styles said that it was unfair, and he wasn't even the one pinned in that match last week. He said it was all Riddle's fault. So, I mean, I get what they were getting at here, but it was... No, since Saturday, Drew's stories are not entertaining. If I want to hear stories about history, I'll go watch goddamn PBS. Like, the only history I want in my WWE is WWE history, NWA history, WCW history. I don't want to hear about the Alamo. I want to hear about the Alamo. I'll go watch Schoolhouse Rock back in 1998. Fucking ABC Kids, Saturday morning cartoons. Anyways. Riddle said that he wanted a high five from Omos because he's as high as he is. He said, "You're almost as big as me up on this ladder, big guy." And then all of a sudden, Riddle's like, "Whoa, oh, bro, what are you doing?" And almost tips the ladder. Riddle falls on the ankle. And here's the fucking dumb thing. Riddle does his entrance when he comes out, jumps over the top rope, does the whole, lands right on the foot, no problem, jumps, kicks the flops off, and he's fine, even though the ankle's taped, but then he falls off the ladder. Yes, I know what you're going to say. Well, Tim, the ladder's higher. Well, yeah, okay, whatever. It still should have affected the foot a little bit, doing the entrance where he springs himself up over the ropes and jumps twice. God, no logic. That was the first thing I thought when Orton jumped over the top rope. I go, shouldn't that have at least kind of like made him wince a little? He should have just like, ooh, shouldn't have done that. But no. No. Anyways. Riddle tumbles. He starts selling the foot. Styles then kicks him in the leg and the foot. Omos and Styles then leave the ring as McIntyre got in their faces. Omos was about to get back in the ring, but McIntyre clotheslined him out. Almost so tall that he almost can't do the whole tumble backwards over the top rope thing and make it actually look good. And I'm going to say it. This may be in a little bit of Omos's inexperience, but at the same time, when you take him that clothesline where you're supposed to tumble backward, you're supposed to like crash to the floor, but Omos is so tall, he's legit like 7'2", that he just tumbles and he's just right on his feet. And so he tried to sell it a little like he stumbled. But again, because he's so tall, he can't really take that spot, unfortunately. And he's not skilled enough to maybe know, okay, I'm going to take this spot and like kick my legs out or something. I don't know. That's how I would have done it. But regardless, they all start brawling in the ring. Morrison decks Ricochet, but Ricochet eventually drop kicks him from the ring. Miz was left alone with the baby faces. Ricochet took a dripstick, broke it, and threw it. Whatever. Cool. This segment sucked. It was pointless. Just to say, hey, look, Omos is tall. And to set up Riddle versus AJ later on. A few minutes go by. We get a commercial break, blah, 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 blah. And we get another John Morrison Ricochet match. And I was fine with doing this match a second week in a row. Because I go, okay, count out last week. I'm going to bring it back. The match was really good last week. Should be really good tonight. I'm fine with that. I know a lot of people bitch, same match 2 weeks in a row. Well, this one was, by the way, because the way they did it last week justified doing it again. But then the fucking finish. So the match goes. A few minutes, not much really happens. Ricochet tried to leap off of Miz's chair, but Morrison caught him with a powerbomb into the barricade. After a commercial break, they went back and forth until Morrison hit a standing Spanish fly for a 2. Ricochet spiked Morrison moments later with the tilt-a-whirl DDT. Miz sprayed Ricochet with the drip stick, which led to Morrison using a creative cradle for a near fall. With Morrison standing on the apron, Ricochet did a running dive to bring them both crashing to the outside. I'm not sure what they were trying to pull off here. Ricochet sold it like he was hurt. Morrison then jumped in the ring. Well, I get what they were trying to do here. They're trying to get it to where Ricochet did a big move and hurt himself. Morrison jumps in. Count out victory for Morrison. So what? They announced next week Falls Count Anywhere. Ricochet wins and then we get another fucking match? Like, it's WWE. That's what they're going to do. They should just had a regular, decisive victory. Morrison pins him in the middle of the ring, and we go from there. But no, we need to get this match for a third time. Again, I was fine with a second time because of the way the match ended last week. But to do it for a third time, 3 weeks in a row, not even with a break in between, no. Reading something in the chat. Yeah, no, BFG. Why are you still talking about that, bro? Like, it's old. You said you notified me of something you saw a lot of people talking about. No, you didn't, because I literally went on 4 different social medias and nobody was talking about Keith Lee. Like, not in any way that would have been like, hey, I need to let people know about this. So, bro, drop it or you're going to get banned. Now you're just trying to start stuff. Anyways, we get Jinder Mahal riding in on a Harley, a chopper. And this man does not look comfy. Like, maybe he rides and I don't know it. But as somebody that's been riding motorcycles since I was like 5 years old, if not younger, like, God, he did not look comfortable on that bike. When he came in and then had to go like up and then it like leveled off, when it went up and was leveling off, he shook his hand. Like, he did not look comfy on that bike. Again, as somebody that's been riding dirt bikes since I was at least dirt bikes, I've ridden street bikes, I've ridden choppers, I've ridden all kinds of motorcycles. I predominantly have ridden more dirt bikes than anything. That's what I grew up with. But anyways, somebody who's basically ridden motorcycles my entire life, he did not look comfy on that bike. He did not look comfy on that bike at all. And what was the point of fucking Jinder Mahal coming in on a motorcycle just to say that Drew was there with me when I got this bike? Really? Also, they're doing a Jinder Mahal Drew McIntyre storyline. This was actually supposed to be the storyline last year going into Extreme Rules, the horror show. But Jinder got hurt, had to have knee surgery, slid in old Dolph Ziggler, or as some people call him, the Ziggle Wiggle. Yeah, a lot of people are like, man, this Dolph Ziggler Drew McIntyre stuff kind of seems rushed and like they don't have a plan for it. They didn't. It was supposed to be fucking Jinder challenging Drew for the title in 2020. Yes, the plan in 2020 was for Jinder Mahal. That's why they brought back Heath. They were going to try to do something with Heath, even though they had released him. Like, they brought back Heath Slater for that one episode, and then they tried to re-sign him for less money, and he said, no, I'm not taking less money. But the plan was to have Heath involved for like a week or two to lead to Jinder coming in and fucking, what's what I'm looking for? Jinder coming in and challenging for the title, and there was going to be at least a 2-month story here. But instead, they did it with Dolph. But we'll see. We'll see where this leads to. Anyways, Jinder said that he called, or he tried to contact Drew recently. He said earlier, like, he doesn't even know. He goes, I tried to contact Drew earlier, but he didn't respond, and it's been 3 days or something like that. And I was like, earlier? You mean the other day then? Because earlier means same day today. Anyways, this was god awful. Like, he fucking rides in, and Indusher is just waiting for him there. What? I don't know. Anyways, basically said that he's going to challenge Drew McIntyre, and they're going to have a match later on tonight. Tonight, Jack, Shayna Baszler, and Reginald were speaking in the back, and they're all talking about their match upcoming, and all of a sudden Reginald's like, oh my, excuse me, girls, ladies, Alexa Bliss is right over there. And they're like, what? And the camera like moves. Alexa probably runs really fast. Camera moves back. They turn around and like, what are you talking about, Reggie? She's not there. You're seeing things. And Baszler says that she's sick of this crap. And then they left. And then the camera pulls back, and Bliss had ran back into spot. So Nikki Cross is just Nikki ASH. Just Nikki ASH. And you know why? Because Karrion Kross is coming up, and they don't want people to think that they're related. Yeah. So Nikki Cross is now Nikki ASH. Granted, the whole superhero thing was actually her idea that she pitched, and she had no clue that they were actually going to go with it. Like, Killian Dane said it in an interview, too. He's like, she pitched it just to pitch it. Because people pitch things just to pitch things, and they ran with it. But anyway, she's Nikki ASH because she can't be Nikki Cross. And Corey Graves either doesn't want to say it or keeps forgetting. Because he called her Nikki ASH a couple times. He went, Nikki ASH. But hey, it ain't like Jimmy Smith saying Nia Cross. Or no, Nikki Jax. We'll get to that. So they're in the back and gorilla position. Naomi told Nikki that she loved her new look and new name. I get what it means, Broken King Slender, almost superhero, but it's still stupid. If you're going to give her a new name because she's a superhero, then she can't even have Nikki. Is superhero? Is Superman Clark Superman? Is Batman Bruce Bat? Is the Flash Barry Flash? No. You don't have any semblance of your real name in your superhero name. Like, was Shane Helms? Well, kinda. That was a weird one. And that, I guess it's wrestling. I don't know. Because Shane Helms was the Hurricane, but then now people call him Hurricane Helms, but he was Gregory Helms, the reporter. I don't know. Anyways. Cincinnati says, you ruined superheroes for me. Broken King Slender says, Mighty Molly. And I've said Mighty Molly was dumb too, because you shouldn't be using your real name. It's called giving up your real identity. Anyways. Kevin Gerhardt says, and the ring announcer still announced her as Nikki Cross. It's because they don't even know what they're doing yet. Basically, it was like, hey, she needs a new name, but then they don't know when to call it. Anyway, let's talk about this match that went way longer than it needed to. 8-woman tag. It was Eva Marie, Doudrop, Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler against the team of Nikki ASH, Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Asuka, and oh, yeah, Nikki takes the fucking pin. If people weren't taking her serious already because she's a fake superhero, they really ain't taking her fucking serious because she's just eating the pin. At least when she was Nikki Cross, she was beating the top 2 women on the fucking brand, technically. Anyways, I was shocked that Eva did more than as much as she did. Eva did way more than I expected in this match. But Doudrop was supposed to start the match, but Eva Marie tagged herself in. The moment she felt like she was in danger, tagged right back out. Naomi wiped out Jackson Baszler with a dive. Asuka used a hip attack to stagger Doudrop on the outside before Nikki knocked her down with a dive. Eva Marie was left standing on the ring apron, but she turned around and she saw Bliss, who shrieked at her. She jumped off the apron and we went to commercial break about 2 minutes into the match. As we came back, Bliss and Doudrop were going at it until Nikki quickly tagged herself in. So is Alexa a heel or a babyface? I mean, she teamed with the babyfaces tonight. Anyways, Doudrop was knocked down to one knee, so Asuka was tagged in and hit a series of kicks until Doudrop dropped her with the headbutt. Doudrop tagged in Nia, and then they squashed Asuka between the two of them. Jax became worried when she noticed that Alexa Bliss was walking towards Reginald and starting to hypnotize him. Baszler then ran over. She's like, Reggie, don't look at her. Reggie, don't look at her. So, instead of just running, Reggie's right here, and Alexa's over here on the apron. Instead of Shayna just running like this at her, she runs all the way around and then behind her. You could say, sneak attack. She grabs Alexa Bliss, throws her into the barricade. It breaks the trance. Reggie no longer hypnotized. At one point, Asuka fought back on Jax after the I guess you could say distraction here. But Jax then tagged in Eva Marie. And before Asuka could kill her, Eva Marie tagged back out to Shayna Baszler. They traded submissions until Naomi tagged in and hit a springboard dropkick. Asuka followed this up with the German suplex, but Baszler kicked out. Doudrop, I think, was supposed to break up the pin, but didn't in time. And this led to everyone just trading moves until Nikki put Baszler in a La Magistral cradle. But Baszler was not the legal woman, so the referee would not count the pin. Jax was legal and gave Nikki a Samoan drop. is when they said Nikki Jax for the pin or something like that. And then Eva Marie grabbed the microphone and was like, and your winner, Eva Marie. And the other women in the match just looked at her, especially Nia and Shayna, and kind of just like, huh? Really? No. Kevin Patrick barges into Lashley and MVP's office, and MVP's just like, how the hell do you keep getting in here every single week? Anyways, Lashley said that he's decided to take a vacation last week because of what he did over the last couple of months. He said he's beaten McIntyre multiple times, and he beat Woods inside Hell in a Cell. He said he heard Kofi call him soft. So now the plan is to hurt Kofi. WWE announced that they will be returning to Madison Square Garden for SmackDown, which they also had announced this back on Friday as well during SmackDown. Next up, we had a 3-ish minute match. Mustafa Ali and Mansour. They aired a backstage clip from last week following the Battle Royal where Ali eliminated Mansour. Mansour wanted to know what Ali's problem was. And Ali said, I just don't want you to end up like me. He's like, I've trusted too many different people that it didn't work out. So I just want you to know, don't even trust. Like he's literally told Mansour, don't even trust me. Don't trust anybody. So there was a spot in this match where Ali got to his feet, or got his foot trapped between the ropes. So Mansour helped him out and gave him a chance to regroup. Of course, this led to Ali rolling him up and picking up the victory. Again, trying to teach Mansour, people may always just be deceiving you. Don't always take everybody as your friend. Leave Me Alone says MSG is too expensive. For what? WWE to run or you to go to? So Ali rolls him up and then tells him, I told you so. Charles Schreiber then interviewed Drew McIntyre. He had an opinion about Mahal's text message story, but then didn't even give it. He did give credit. He did give Mahal credit for at least wanting to fight him, unlike others in the locker room. I mean, others have wanted to fight him. Remember when Ricochet stood up to him? Mm-hmm. How'd that go for Ricochet? So McIntyre told us another story this time about a warrior and the Loch Ness Monster. And I go, more fucking history lessons. And this one's not even real because the Loch Ness Monster's a myth. This led to him saying he'd win Money in the Bank. Like, I didn't even write any of this down because it didn't even matter. You know what else didn't matter? Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. Jinder had Veer and Shanky out there with them. So really early on, Mahal rolls out of the ring after getting suplexed by McIntyre. Veer and Shanky got in McIntyre's way and then momentarily distracted him long enough for Mahal to strike. He hit McIntyre in the throat before giving him a vertical suplex on the announce table, which led to a commercial break. Mahal remained in control until McIntyre came back with the headbutt after the break, a clothesline, overhead suplex, and a swinging neck breaker. McIntyre did the 3MB pose before blocking a Colossus and hitting the Future Shock DDT. McIntyre set up for the Claymore, but was attacked by Veer and Shanky, which caused a disqualification. Mahal laid out McIntyre and hit the Colossus. Mahal posed before quickly heading up to the top of the ramp. So McIntyre's getting to his feet, and we start hearing some yelling by Mahal. And he's like, you're going to take my opportunity to be in Money in the Bank? Well, I'm going to take your family heirloom. And he grabs the sword, and he leaves with it. And I go, family heirloom? Drew's already told the fucking story that that's the sword that Triple H bought for fucking Vince overseas. Nobody... Anyways. Mahal said that he's taking opportunities away from McIntyre like McIntyre took opportunities away from him. The New Day were then interviewed by Kevin Patrick. And they said that they don't need to adjust their strategy, even though tonight's match was changed from what it was originally supposed to be, because they're a tag team. They've been a tag team. They're the most successful tag team in WWE, and WWE named them the greatest tag team in WWE history. Which, thinking about it, I would name them top 4, top 5, even top 3. I don't know if they're the greatest. Like I don't know if New Day's the greatest tag team ever in WWE, but they're right there, like at the top. Like, I can see a few teams argued as number one. And New Day, like, if you want to say New Day's the number one team in WWE, there's ways to argue that they're not, but there's also a lot of ways to argue that they are. So, I mean, WWE naming them as the number one team of all time, it's like, I saw a lot of people online, oh, New Day is the best team. There's so many better teams. The Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, the Hart Foundation. This and I saw a lot of people trying to dispute it, but I'm just like, but if you really think about it, what New Day's been able to do as a team, they've done a lot more than other teams. Like, they've done a lot of stuff. Please no spamming in the chat on YouTube, guys. But anyways, Woods said that he was back despite what MVP claimed, and he knew that Kofi was going to win a Money in the Bank. Kingston quoted Kevin Garnett by saying, quote, anything is possible, and was excited to face Lashley in front of a real crowd. Kingston said that Lashley and MVP can take all the vacations they want and take their lady friends with them, because Lashley's championship responsibilities will become his in less than 2 weeks. Before he left, Woods said that it would be a breeze tonight. Get it? A breeze tonight. Shout out to a boy that was just released, old Tyler Breeze. Oh, breezy. I love that little line there. I actually really, really loved that he did that. And then Lucha House Party took on Mace-Tbar. Good to see Grand Metalik back. I know a month ago he was supposed to be in a tag team battle royal. All of a sudden we're like, Lindsay Dorado doing this by himself. And they said he was out with an undisclosed injury. Still don't know what the injury is, but good to see him here. Good to see him picking up a victory. Match went about 3.5 minutes long. T-Bar and Mace killed Dorado the entire match as they were going to give him a double choke slam. Grand Metalik made the save. He wiped out Mace with a dive. Dorado then gave T-Bar Hurricane Rana into a pin to pick up the victory. Also, shout out to Lindsay's gear, which we all know he makes himself. Kane. He had a Kane like mask-ish thing. Kane tights. It was cool. Really, really cool. Grand Metalik Lindsay Dorado always has cool gear. And again, he does it himself. We've seen his previous Twitch streams when he was allowed to stream on Twitch of him making the gear. Also, speaking of wrestlers streaming and stuff, y'all see Woods streaming on Instagram? Now, I asked about this and I haven't got a response back. I have a theory, but I'm not going to say until I get confirmed if my theory is correct. But I have a theory on why he's allowed to stream on Instagram, but can't go and stream on Twitch. But it was cool because he's streaming Godfall over the weekend. And it's not the first time I've seen him stream. So I think he was streaming like a month ago or 3 weeks ago. Who was he streaming? Disco Elysium, I think it was. But we'll see if it leads to anything. If my theory's right, then I'll let you guys know. But I asked around today about it. Hey, Woods streaming? What? I assume he got it approved, or he wouldn't do it. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get confirmation on exactly what that is, why he's allowed to do it. I think I know from other things that I had heard that they were going to start allowing guys to do. So we'll see. But Riddle was checking out his foot when he was approached by Damian Priest. Priest said, hey, why are you taking this match so close to Money in the Bank? If you get hurt, and like hurt bad enough, then it's either going to take you out of the match or hurt your chances of even winning. Riddle said he's not afraid of heights and told the story about jumping off of a roof into a pool, missing the pool and breaking his leg. And Priest is like, what does that have to do with tonight? He goes, well, because I'm not afraid of heights. And just because I failed at something once doesn't mean that I'm not going to go back and try again. That next summer, I went to my cousin's house and I jumped off the roof again. What happened? I actually landed in the pool that time. But just because I got hurt once doesn't mean it's going to discourage me from trying again. said, I'm going to show everybody, including Randy. And he did the whole, like, Randy dead? He's like, that the most dangerous letters in WWE are RK Bro. Priest smiled, realizing Riddle's mistake. So, I don't know what the whole to the heavens about fucking Orton was. Speaking of Riddle and AJ Styles, that match was next. We worked 13 minutes. Styles worked over Riddle's injured foot early, and Riddle sold it big. Riddle did the Karate Kid pose. He's standing there. Fucker has great balance. So he's standing there, and he's like, got himself balanced on one foot because he can't put any pressure on the hurt foot. And AJ just goes, what, are you going to Karate Kid me? And he fucking crane kicks him. He fucking crane kicks AJ Styles. And it popped the announcers. They loved it. I bet you it would have gone over well with the crowd. But it didn't matter because Riddle was in too much pain to go on the offense after this, and Styles regained control, almost gave Riddle a cheap shot behind the referee's back by swiping the leg out from under him, which led to a commercial break. So Styles applied an ankle lock, and Riddle rolled through and also countered a calf crusher into a knee strike before hitting a senton for a 2. Riddle blocked a phenomenal forearm before hitting a draping DDT. Styles dodged a floating bro, and Riddle landed awkwardly on the ankle. Styles followed this up with a rack bomb for a near fall when all of a sudden the Viking Raiders would appear on the other side of the barricade. We hear, "Hey, big guy." There's Ivar. All of a sudden, Eric standing on the other side of him. AJ starts yelling, "Almost! Don't worry about them! Almost! Almost!" And as he's distracted with Almost and the Viking Raiders, Riddle runs up. Schoolboy, 1, 2, 3. Riddle picks up the victory. Now, as the referee's hand went, it hit. He had 3 AJ kicks. Like, we know it's the 3, but also we're showing, hey, yeah, he may have caught him, but AJ was still not beat. AJ was fine, good to go, just caught for a second. Well, 3 seconds. Riddle then posed with the Raiders after the match. Riddle said he loved Randy and pointed to the sky again. Is fucking Randy dying? No, I heard something tonight that I'm trying to get confirmed about Orton. So I might have 2 exclusive news stories in the morning if I can get everything confirmed. But we'll see. Then we had like the worst thing I've seen in a long time. Fucking Charlotte Flair comes out on a crutch. And she's like, Rhea, you attacked me last week with my own move. And I go, the chop block is your move? No one else can do a chop block? And she's like, talking about injuries in the NBA playoffs and stuff. Anthony Davis and James Harden. Don't even start with Anthony Davis. Fucking Lakers. Anyways. She's like, I'm hurt. I might not even make it to Money in the Bank. And then all of a sudden, Ripley comes out on a crutch as well. And we know she's making fun of Charlotte for saying she's hurt. And then this just gets so bad. So Ripley gets in the ring. She asks the referee to pull the ropes down forward. And Charlotte's like, you're stealing my entrance too? And they're both on a crutch. Ripley's selling it way too much that she's faking it. And then, like, Ripley says something. There's, like, a trigger word. And they both throw the crutches. And they look at each other like, I'm not hurt. You're not hurt. They circle the ring. Charlotte takes her heels off. And then they both grab the crutches. And they have a fucking duel. And this was so goddamn bad that it would, I would not be surprised if from this moment on the ratings went, who the fuck wants to see fucking crutch duel with these 2 women? With anybody that was this bad. Like, this was not good. Like, if they would have done it in a different, I don't even know if there was a different way to make it better. But it's like, why the fuck was Charlotte coming out here saying she was hurt in the first place with a crutch if she's not? It made no sense. And then I get what Ripley was trying to do, make fun of Charlotte because she thought Charlotte was faking. I don't know. So I'm going to fake to prove that you're faking. The whole thing made no sense. and everything was just way too planned out. Like it was crash, hit, crash, hit, crash. Ripley dropped her crutch. Ooh. Gut shot, back up, gut shot, back up. Ooh, Charlotte dropped her crutch. Ooh, we both dropped our crutches. And then it's just over. This was bad. And before it got any worse, Charlotte eventually left. And I said, dear God Almighty, that was, what the fuck? This was just so bad. So bad. Then we got a minute match. Jackson Riker and R-Truth against Elias and Cedric Alexander. And my first thought was, R-Truth? Where the fuck is Truth play into all this? Shouldn't it be Jeff Hardy? If they're doing something with Cedric? Anyways, before the match, Kirizawa runs out because he's being chased by the 24/7 guys. The Truth tries to roll him out and he kicks out. Kirizawa then runs as all the 24/7 geeks chase after him, including Humberto Carrillo, who will be challenging for the U.S. title next week. This man is going to challenge Sheamus for the U.S. title next week, yet he's a 24/7 geek tonight. Yeah, like, and no one had a shadow of, like, nobody thought that he had a chance to beat Sheamus, but now we really don't think he has a chance to beat Sheamus. Anyways, the match. Oh yeah, there was a minute match here. It didn't even matter what we talk about. Elias bailed. Cedric goes, "Where are you going, bro? Where are you going? You're leaving me all by myself." And Riker pinned him with a side slam. We see Lashley getting ready in the back, and Kevin Patrick approaches again. MVP's just like, oh, don't even ask any questions. This is a focused man. This man has never been more focused. And he said that he was focused, and Kingston accused him not. He's going to show him what focus really is. We get some matches announced. Some for next week, and some for in 2 weeks. So next week, Falls Count Anywhere, Ricochet versus John Morrison. As I just stated, U.S. title will be on the line when Humberto Carrillo challenges Sheamus. Omos will work a singles match against Eric in Omos' first ever singles match. And AJ Styles will have a singles match against Ivar. Then, not at Money in the Bank, but in 2 weeks on Raw in Dallas, Texas. The first Monday Night Raw back with a live crowd. AJ Styles and Omos will defend the Raw Tag Team Championships against the Viking Raiders. Not at the pay-per-view, but on Raw. And I get it. You want to put a title match on the show to sell more tickets, hopefully sell it out, and tell people, hey, there's a reason to watch this live show. Also, speaking of live shows, next week's show, I believe, is being filmed tomorrow in the Thunderdome. Next week's Raw will not be live. It will be a pre-tape show. I don't think they're filming tonight, because tonight's show is live. I believe, from what I heard, they're filming tomorrow. So then we get our main event. Match for about 14 and a half minutes, and it was good. I enjoyed the match throughout the whole match. So MVP was cleared for competition, but he's still selling his knee throughout the whole thing, limping and all sorts of stuff. So the New Day were in full control early on, and they wiped out the Hurt Business with a couple of dives leading to the break. After the break, Lashley fought off Woods and clotheslined him to take over. Kingston made a hot tag and gave MVP a bulldog for a 2. Kingston super kicked Lashley off the apron, but that allowed MVP to clothesline Kingston for a 2. MVP booted Kingston and tagged Lashley, who hit a spine buster, but Woods broke up the cover. Lashley chucked Woods from the ring. MVP tagged him, but Kingston took out Lashley with the Trouble in Paradise. Woods then knocked Lashley down outside of the ring, and Kingston blocked MVP's finisher and hit him with the Trouble in Paradise to pick up the pinfall victory. I think there was a little miscommunication here between Lashley and Kingston and stuff, because there was a couple things that were kind of like just seemed a little off and not as smooth as you would think with these 4 guys. Like, these are 4 of the top wrestlers on Raw, not just because they're pushed as such, but just 4 of like the better guys on the brand. And there was just a couple of spots to me that seemed a little off, and I don't know exactly why. But with that, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods do pick up the victory as we roll in with only 1 more Raw left. until Money in the Bank on July 18th. Money in the Bank, July 18th. But with that, guys, that was Monday Night Raw. Remember, if you want to be part of tonight's show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. The number will be scrolling down here periodically. It's been throughout the whole show. But before we go to the text messages, let's check the polls. Check that Twitch poll first. Wow. Okay. That's what I would have said. 100% of you on Twitch said it was just all right. As far as the YouTube poll does go, 38% of you liked tonight's Raw. 31% thought it was just all right. And 31% did not like Raw. Basically split right down the triples, the middle. They're not really a middle. There's like two middles. But anyways, basically, it was split right down, you know. But with that, let's check the text messages. Got a number of them actually here. First, do you think Kofi Kingston will potentially win back the WWE Championship or Money in the Bank? I wouldn't be opposed to putting the title on Kofi, but from the plans we've heard, as far as New Day goes, going into the draft, I don't think it's happening. Chris says, are we just going to ignore the fact that Humberto was chased? I've already talked about that. Chris says, I'm not talking about Fast 9 because I don't want to give any spoilers. So someone asked me about Fast 9 and John Cena, and all I'm going to say is, I'm not giving any movie spoilers. Versus, okay, hold on. Let me read this question to myself first before I read it out loud, just in case. Oh, okay. I just saw someone say, "Have you seen F9? And what were your?" And okay, the movie is all right. It's probably one of their weaker Fast and the Furious movies. Versus says, "Do you think John Cena makes his return next week?" There's a chance. They want him for SummerSlam. There's also another big name that they want next week to come back. Sasha Banks. They want Sasha Banks on that 16th show as well. Will she be on the show? I don't know. Will she even help with the ratings? I don't know. First said, what are your thoughts on WWE running in front of a live crowd again? I mean, it's about time. I mean, what am I supposed to say? I don't want them to do it. I like the Thunderdome. No, it's about freaking time. Now, and I know why they haven't. I know everyone's praising Tony Khan and AEW for having fans all this time and WWE not. That's because WWE were in buildings where they were told they couldn't have a live crowd because of COVID. Like, it's specifically the Amway Center said, no live audience, no matter what restrictions you put on them and COVID guidelines you follow. And I'm pretty sure the Yuling Center said the same thing. First says John Morrison versus Ricochet. What a killer match. I know, but I don't want to see it for a third week. Versus says, I think Raw did okay tonight. Do you know these WWE content update? And when U.S. title going to be... Okay, obviously you didn't watch the show tonight, guy. Because they announced the U.S. title will be on the line next week. Versus says, hopefully WWE gets it together and eventually acknowledges why the fans have turned on Charlotte Flair. What do you mean, have turned on Charlotte Flair? The fans have never really liked Charlotte Flair. Fans have turned on Charlotte Flair. Like saying that they were behind her ever in the first place. Versus says, who do you think is the odds-on favorite to win the men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches? Can't say until both. I'm not going to predict until both matches are full. And there's still 2 slots open in both. Technically in the women's, I think there's only one. Yeah, there's only one. Because we already know who's getting one of those spots. I mean, it's obvious. Anyways, is Vince still high on Adam Cole? Will he be called up? All I know is Triple H is trying to delay Adam Cole getting called out of NXT for as long as he can. That's all I'm going to say. Triple H is trying to delay this as long as he can. Says, I'm not going to give any... 805, I'm not going to read your question because I don't want to give any spoilers, even though it's just for main event. But I will. I did hear about that already, 805. And I will do a news break and all that kind of stuff on the website and YouTube as soon as I'm done here talking Raw. It says, do you think WWE is saving Becky's return for SummerSlam so that way she can get the massive pop when she returns? I mean, they're just waiting till there's a crowd. I mean, honestly, she could show up on SmackDown on the 16th. It doesn't have to be SummerSlam. I mean, no, it doesn't have to be SummerSlam. Versus says, When Randy returns, will he betray Riddle? Who knows? He's kind of warming up to him slowly. Or says, I really didn't like Raw. It was a snooze fest. I mean, yeah, it was pretty damn boring. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember to follow us on social media. Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Follow us on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Follow us on Twitter @PW Unlimited. Follow our website, pwunlimited.co. And follow us on Patreon. Subscribe over there, patreon.com/PW Unlimited. Remember, guys, we will be live tomorrow. Speaking money, nope. WW, nope. NX, why am I'm blank. My dyslexia is kicking in. I see something in the chat and it kind of takes over my brain. I can't think of things and read something at the same time half the time. And so I saw someone say something about one thing in the chat and it kind of like derailed my thought. Tomorrow, NXT Great American Bash. We'll be right here talking about it as soon as that show is over. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your Monday night. Have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow for NXT Great American Bash. Have a good one, guys. All right.